Girl from Senegal, she come back to daddy when I Senegal. Daddy at the general, have to pay the lawyer just to stay out the federal. Big man pull up like a sentinel, big gold chain on me neck, me a several. Make the girl hyper, half is settle down, ginseng roof for the second round. Knock out in the girl, rubber man take a gun. Not a little, plenty. My quartz crystals never empty. There'll be no knots that fret me. Bitter like root tea, I'll use whatever works like Bruce Lee. You only need a little like Tootsie. Baby had a biggie, it was juicy. I like it really weird like kooky. I switch my style up every year, it's a new me. You thought you knew me, let me introduce me.
I'm getting sick of bitches having opinions, and that's all I get to see is fat black bitches, old white bitches, dykes.
Yo. This is Disagreeable. I'm Disagreeable. We are Disagreeable. Welcome to Disagreeable. And this is going to be a special show. As we're freestyling as usual. But this is going to be a special show. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is going to be a special show. As you can see the title, The Nature of Ggality, Infinite Possibilities and the Absurdity of the Matrix. The nonsensical characteristics of the construct, the simulation, the Matrix, whatever you want to call it. The absurdity of the Matrix and infinite possibility. And I want to use this to segue away from the content of talking about hoes and all that. We are always going to talk about hoes without question. Without question. We're always going to talk about hoes. But it's becoming, it's more than boring me. It's mundane. And this might not appeal to a large audience, but it will appeal to the right people. We are fully moving away from the mundane, the normal, the status quo, what the propaganda machine pushes. You feel me? And some people say like they'll think they're part of like friends groups or whatever, different sub communities on the internet and all that. Like, oh, we're into the truth. We're looking at the truth and all that. When in reality, if you're not participating in the propaganda, even analyzing it, you are participating in it by spending your attention, paying attention to it. You know what I'm saying? So, and here's another thing. If you do pay attention to it at all, it should be totally in a mocking manner. Totally in a comical manner if you pay attention to the propaganda machine, which is everything. This whole construct is nonsense. You feel me? Politics, nonsense. You feel me? My bad. Let me pull up the comments, see if somebody pops up in here. Yeah, let's go. Politics, nonsense. Laws, nonsense. The healthcare systems, nonsense. You feel me? Absurdity. So you can look at these things and they can upset you, you know? So over here, disagreeable when we talk about these things, we are making fun of it. We know this shit is inconsequential because we subscribe, or I do, because there is no we, we're not a tribe, but I would like you to come into this thinking, you know? We subscribe to infinite possibilities. And does that sound like some fairy tale type shit to you? Infinite possibilities? What do you mean infinite possibilities? I'm black. You think I'm gonna wake up white tomorrow or something if I believe in it? You know what, bro? I'm gonna say yes because I subscribe to infinite possibilities, but you're using silliness, you know, because within this construct we need something for it to make sense to us to get to point A to get from visualization to actualization. We need something to make sense within that space. You feel me? Or you wouldn't be able to handle it. Within this reality, you'd have a nervous breakdown or some shit like that. But if you can get past that, possibly you can what's the right word? Manifest and transmutate and fucking yo. Yo, let's move away from that right now. Because I don't want to go too deep because we have time. We're going to be chilling for a minute. And here's how we're going to segue from this. I like in researching internet subcultures, I'm not really researching, just looking at bullshit because it's funny to me. You know, all these little subcultures I pass through, all these little online worlds that I go through, you know what I'm saying? I don't really care to speak against them or give a shit, like make fun of anybody. You know, we love to make fun of people, but there's something I always wonder, like, why does this black pill shit bother me so much? Why does it bother me so much? And it might not, because I know this shit has such an ambiguous definition. Excuse me. I know this shit has such an ambiguous definition. But I mean in the sense of the loser shit. And let me explain why I call it loser shit. It's because it is the one ideology and this little tribal group I see online that is the ultimate limiter of infinite possibility. And if it is the limiter of infinite possibility, that means you are my enemy. You're my direct enemy, and I rebuke you. I rebuke you, motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? Because I can look at the construct all day. Look how the mechanism goes together and be like, oh, this is how the mechanism works. Look, you're just interpreting propaganda. You don't know what the fuck you're saying. You don't know what's going on. You're simply interpreting propaganda. And since your data sets are false, since your information is pseudo, that means anything that comes from that is nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? We got to go back to the drawing board. And since shit is so crazy and convoluted, I choose not to decipher it and run through it and rummage and filter through the nonsense. I choose to lean into it. Because if you can get these idiots, the masses, to believe and do whatever, that means I can get myself to believe and do whatever. And if I want to manipulate people, I can also get them to do the same. But just for myself, I can get myself to believe and do whatever. Let me expound upon that. The absurdity of the Matrix. Look at the world in general. Look at television. If you're somebody who watches it all the time, you might not get it. I'm somebody who's far away from that shit. So when I go to somebody's house and they have on the TV and they have on the 7 o'clock news, 8 o'clock news or whatever, that shit makes my skin crawl. Literally, I get a visceral internal reaction to this shit. That's how disturbingly fake it is. You understand what I'm saying? But that super fake shit is controlling all of reality. The fake media is controlling all of reality. The fake is making it real. What does that tell us? That tells us this shit is not linear, and this tells us that this shit is not linear. This shit does not flow in one direction, and this shit can be worked from either side. Pause. Worked from either side. They are trying to get into your mind for you to manifest the reality they want you to have for yourself. That's why if you're a regular dummy, because I see the shit and I'm still affected by it. So if you're a regular dummy, you should stay away from that shit totally. I say ignore it. Yo. Earlier I was thinking, I want to be oblivious. Cause I'm already like out the loop with a lot of shit, but I want to be out of the loop totally. I want to be in my universe, my bubble. And it's going to take some training and some fasting. You feel me? It's going to take some training, some fasting. I'm going back into a water fast. Might have to get away from the social media, and not might. I use it for business, but I need to get away from the social media because that thing is projecting reality onto you. Your reality will change if you become oblivious, unaware, ignorant of the propaganda as much as possible. I wish I didn't know who Sexy Red was. Are you hearing me right now, people? Understand where I'm going with this. There is no reason for me to know who Sexy Red is. There is no reason for me to know who King Von is and that he killed 7 people. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't. There's no reason for me to know this. The reality, the media, the propaganda machine is projecting this nonsense onto me. Why do you think why do you think I can't talk nothing about how do I say this right? A person who enjoys bagels a lot. Huh? And be chilling with their family on Fridays and shit. How come I can't say nothing about them? I can't go crazy on Asia. I can't do nothing. But there's this whole propaganda machine that's pushing out nigga, kill, nigga, die, nigga. I can say it right here. The algorithm's not going to stop me for saying this right here. The algorithm is probably going to make my shit go through the roof. Just if I keep saying nigga, op, kill, hill, nigga. No one's ever going to stop that. Why? Because that is the reality it wants projected upon you. Do you understand this? Trauma and repetition. Mind control. Trauma and repetition. Mind control, people. But we're not here to look at the mind control and the problem. There's plenty of channels that's going to do that for you. You feel me? And have that. I think that's better than watching nonsense. I think that's better than watching TV, maybe. If you have the right mindset, and you're gonna just get some entertainment from it and be like, whoa. But if it's upsetting you, if you're like, fuck, look at these people, man, they got us in this thing and all this, man, fuck that shit, yo. Fuck that. They don't got me in shit. And it's easy to, let me say this again. It's not easy to say this. It just is what needs to be said. And I'm not speaking from a position above anybody I'm speaking to. Because most people who speak to people pretend that they are unaffected by what they are speaking about. No. We are all heavily influenced by propaganda. And if you say you aren't influenced by propaganda, you're probably the most influenced by propaganda that there is. You feel me? But we're not leaning into that. That's obvious. We don't care about that. This is disagreeable, and I don't agree with it, and I don't give a shit. You feel me? But what we're going to do over here is reverse engineer. We are going to reverse engineer and allow that to allow us to experience more and, bring forth or reveal more novelty to ourselves within our own lives. Now you're thinking, reverse engineer the propaganda. How do you do that? How do you reverse engineer propaganda? For me, step 1, this is on the external. It is all comical and absurd to me. Everything. All things presented to me are comical, absurd, nonsensical. They're not terrifying. Understand what I'm saying? They don't get me stressed out. They make me laugh, or maybe you just say, these niggas is wildin'. It is what it is. Nigga-isms. You feel me? So, that's the external. All things that you have to come in contact with from the external, look at it as nonsense, because it most likely is. Look at it as absurd. And let this sink into your mind, because you're thinking, well, everything's absurd and nonsensical. What do I get from that? A lot. Once you start to really understand. Once you can really understand how not nonsensical this matrix is, it helps you be empathetic with other people. It helps you understand other people too, because you see other people fucking up, people who don't even have the awareness you have, and you don't get angry at them. You start looking at them like, goddamn, you're in hell. You are in hell with me. You're in hell too, bro. How can I be mad at you when you're in hell, bombarded by propaganda? You don't even know what the fuck you're saying. You're nonsensical. Oh, you saying you're in hell? Yeah, might be in hell, but I'm cooling in hell. Huh? Absurd? Is that absurd? Is that nonsensical? I'm cooling in hell. I'm doing well in hell. Huh? Is that nonsensical? Can you feel me? Do you see where I'm going with this? We're reverse engineering this shit. The devil can't do shit with us. This ain't shit to us, man. Internalize this shit. Oh, you don't believe it? You think this life is hard? Keep saying it's easy. Repetition and trauma. Repetition and trauma. You feel me? Okay, now how do we reverse engineer the propaganda? Okay, on the external, I already said you just make it nonsensical. It's comical to you. It's nothing. You just don't allow it to stress you. For me put in the simplest terms. Do whatever you have to do to let it not stress you. Now let's take it to the internal. Now that the devil has revealed the secrets of the universe by using them on us, the devil, reptilians, the archons, white people, whatever, you feel me? Since they have revealed the secrets of the universe by using them to beat your ass, how about you use those same principles to level your fucking mind up and create reality? Because you can clearly see your reality is not set in stone. This shit is malleable and tactile. This shit is malleable. So what do we do? There are these things called out, and this is not a science show. This is not a deep occult show either. You niggas need to read a book. I'm not here to teach you shit. If you hear me say a word here or there, look it up. There are things like self-hypnosis, auto-suggestion. So those are, if you can look up those terms yourself, but it should be pretty straightforward what it is. Self-hypnosis, hypnotizing yourself, and auto-suggestion, suggesting things to yourself repetitively. Now you're like, oh, this sounds like some woo-woo shit, nigga. This is science, nigga. If any of this sounds weird or woo-woo to you, get the fuck out of here. You feel me? I have real business. I am rich, nigga. But it's about to be on a whole different level. You feel me? A whole different level. That's why I'm going to get more free on this. I don't want no money from YouTube. I don't want anything from this. My business is about to pay me lovely. All right? So, I'm sorry, I digress. So what we're doing here is propagandizing. Am I saying that correctly? Whatever, you know what I mean. We're going to propagandize ourselves. And you get to choose your own propaganda. You get to propagandize yourself. And if you program yourself with this message enough, it's going to create reality. Why? Because you see the devil doing it to everybody. So you can do it yourself. You can take the macro example and bring it into your microcosm. I don't think you hear me. I don't think y'all hear me. Somebody in the back say, yeah. No, I'm fucking with y'all. But yes, you need to propagandize yourself. Use the propaganda on yourself. Now, what you want to do to propagandize yourself, I don't care. Whatever you think is best for you, because I'm not your leader. I'm not here to teach you anything on that level. But as you can see the title, the nature of ggality, infinite possibilities and the absurdity of the matrix. I think this is a simple one that you should start with. Infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. We got wavy in the background. Give me 1 second. That's the simplest thing. Let's start there. Because most people will make an excuse for anything that they want to do. I'll bring up I'll get around people, and since I'm in the ethers, I'm in the Akashic records, I'm just pulling ideas out of the chaos field all day. I come in with ideas. I'll be talking to people, and as soon as you say something to somebody, they'll give you a reason why they can't do it. Do you think that's dumb? Do you think that's the devil? Why they've been propagandized why they can't do it? That won't work because of blah blah blah. And nigga, if the first thing that comes out of your mouth when I offer a possibility is a reason why that is not a possibility, and it's just you in your own way, I used to want to talk to people and figure this out with them. I just want you to fuck away from me. I just want you to fuck away from me these days. You feel me? If you do not subscribe to infinite possibilities, you need to go away. Cause we doing different shit over here. And I was thinking this the other day, and I didn't say it publicly, but I was thinking, anyone around me who doubts anything I have to say is a fool. Why? Because I'm Superman or God? No. Because if you stood there and you've observed this phenomenon, and you observe these happenings over the years, you observe the progression, and then you think it's gonna stop here, nigga? You think the top of the condo downtown Miami looking over the ocean, and you think this is the end? This is bullshit, nigga. This is bullshit. And this is not to be braggadocious at all. I want more. And why do I want more? Because I know there is more. And reality owes me something. Infinite. Pay me back like you owe your tax. Pay me back like 40 acres to blacks. Yo, we got Magical Family in the subs. I mean, in the chat, whatever. He said we got 333 subs. And yo, things just happen like this. And here's another thing. I was going to get further into numerology because it's very interesting to me, and like just manipulating the matrix and whatnot and understanding the code and all that shit. But I'm starting to think I don't give a shit about it. I don't give a shit. Maybe I don't need to observe it because the numerology reveals itself. How about that? I don't need to study it because it reveals itself. All I need to do is see the significance, find significance, and use that significance to further go into infinite possibilities. That's what I need to do. And I got you, Wavy. Give me 1 second. I just want to get this little monologue out. We are going further. When I say we, whoever's coming with me, you feel me? We are going further into the infinite, the infinite. If you have a limiter on yourself right now, I might chop it up with you for a very short amount of time to try to see if I can remove this limiter from your system. Remove this governor that's been placed upon you by the governors. The governments have placed governors on your system. Limiters on your possibilities. And I don't got time to take that shit off you. I'll try for a short amount of time, maybe try to throw some jewels. And if you prove to be swine, you lie with the dead. Because we don't have time for this right now. Actually, time ain't shit. We have infinite time, infinite possibilities. But right now, we have things to experience. Why? Because we will never run out of things to experience within this reality of infinite possibilities. Rendering, expanding. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Now, I don't like these things to sound out of reach. I see KB in the back too. 1 second. And I don't like these concepts to sound out of reach. That's why I like to keep it simple. Everybody has been destroyed by propaganda. Your mind has been destroyed by symbol, signs, repetition, black magic, mind control. You feel me? You've been destroyed. You've been destroyed. You feel me? But guess what? Infinite possibility allows you the possibility of fixing yourself, being reborn, rising like the phoenix from the ashes of your nonsense. You feel me? And how are we going to do that? We'll talk more about that. But like I said, externally, all external factors and shit trying to destroy you and propagandize you and hold onto your mind and mind control you. Externally, all this shit that's being bombarded at you all the time, It's absurd, nonsensical, and comical. It no longer stresses you. That's step one. You get the stress off of yourself. Now you can work your magic. You feel me? That's external. Two, the internal. Now that we understand how the mechanism works, because the devil revealed itself by showing you how it works by doing it to you. You allowed this thing to be done to you, so it's manifesting reality through you. Now, you're going to stop this motherfucker from driving your car, and you're going to start filling your tank with the fuel that you want in your tank. You're going to fill yourself with the propaganda you want to fill yourself with. I am. Huh? Motherfuckers don't understand that shit. I am. I am what? Whatever the fuck I decide to put on the backside of that shit. And I can switch that shit at any moment. Infinite. Man. All right, that's a good little 30-minute walk in. We're gonna welcome Young Wavy and KB. What's up? What's up? Are y'all there?
Yeah. What's good, big dog? You good, man?
What's up?
Yeah,
What
I
you
heard
on?
you been cook. Nah. Oh, straight at it. What's up, G?
You see the title of the show? You see what's going on?
Yeah,
We're
bro.
getting militant. We're getting a bit militant over here. You feel me? I can't stand for certain shit anymore.
Yeah. I even posted a link in the chat. I think that's a video you should check out. I think that's a channel that, I mean, it has most of the points that you bring up about the nature of legality, and how I think we spoke about this, how legality in general is being suppressed, and that's for a reason, and we could learn a lot from that, actually. So yeah.
Well, we're definitely gonna get into that because this show is a pivot. We're still gonna have
No,
fun.
I
We're
was
still
just
gonna talk about. We're still gonna talk about boxing, all that shit. But this show is a
yeah.
pivot into what we do over here. I'm not part of anything, but I've decided to decide what we do over here. And if you are with we, that is no one thing. We're infinite. You know what I'm saying? This is infinite. So let me this video 17 minutes. Yeah. Maybe I'll hold this down. Maybe we'll get into this in a little bit.
Yo,
But-
what's good?
What's good, Wavy?
Yeah, I was listening to what you were saying, man. This is probably the most, that was the hardest shit you ever spit that I've heard you say. Like, the whole internet thing and, like, social media and, like, all these spaces and the propaganda and shit. Like, I agree with that 100%. I look at social media as one big MK Ultra mind control program, and it's in everybody's pocket. And it's on 24/7. It's not like what it was back in the day where you could turn off the TV, you could turn off the radio. But like with social media and smartphone, the metaverse we've always been in the metaverse, or the metaverse has been around for a while. It's just it's upgrading itself, or they're upgrading it. But yeah, like there should be no reason why people should be feeding into this endless void of propaganda and confusion and mind control. Like I don't even really use too much social media like these days. Like I had like a phase where like I wasn't on I deactivated my Instagram, I deleted my Twitter, blah 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 blah, and like it was a really eye-opening experience for me because I realized how different I thought after I stopped using like social media like that. I mean, obviously YouTube is probably the biggest social media app. Everybody uses YouTube, but I mean, you also have to be careful with that. And I started to realize that when I took a break from like the social media shit.
I was saying YouTube is a fucking dangerous also, but at least you can kind of choose how you're being. The algorithm is still throwing things at you, but at least you can still kind of choose. Like Instagram, even like goddamn Tinder will throwing weird shit at you that you don't want to see. You know what I'm saying? That you don't want in your consciousness. That you don't even want to be thinking. It's throwing shit at you to make you feel weird. Throwing shit at you to make you feel angry. Throwing shit at you to stress you out. It's throwing nonsense at you. You feel me? And what I'm saying about this infinite possibility shit is, you gotta realize what the machine is doing to you. The machine wants you to not believe or know that you are God. So it's going to make everything around you seem as if it's against you, as if it doesn't serve you. When, if you are God in this reality, all things serve you, all things bow to God. Even even experience that seems negative is serving you in the end. It's bowing to you and kissing your fucking feet. So if you look at shit the right way, that's the only way that it can go. If you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If you think something is destroying you, it's most likely going to destroy you, unless you die. But did you die though? If you didn't die, let that shit serve you. Let that shit kiss your feet and carry you to fucking heaven. You feel me? People don't understand these concepts because they're fucking dumb and gay. You know? What I'm trying to get is stop being dumb. How you stop?
I think, I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear you anymore. KBQ, you still hear me?
Yeah, I think you went out for a bit.
So it's good, bro. Like, what do you think about all this? While we wait for him to get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, both of y'all are on point. I mean, what I take from this is that I mean, even what he just mentioned about you know, something, you projecting something out there that you think that it will destroy you, eventually it would. Like planting that idea in your subconscious already as sort of like succumbing or being human. But it kind of does remind me to in one of these deep sessions I had with a shaman, and we were like drinking this other like fucked up potion, and I was telling him, look, I'm having these fucked up dreams, being chased and stuff like that, and he's like, man, that's a part of your subconscious, man, that you're running away from. Really, 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 when I had to bridge that chasm, like it took me a while to understand that shit, that fuck, I'm actually in control of this shit. Yeah, man, it is like that, man, and with the YouTube thing, you actually kind of are accurate, because like YouTube does give you some semblance of control over what you're consuming on social media, unlike all these other social networks or all platforms that bombard you with just some bullshit, bro. Like it's sort of crazy, bro, thinking about it, like how Instagram evolved to what it is now, what Twitter is right now, and how it's interlinked with all these Luciferian agendas and these people that are like manipulating this matrix, you know, in every possible conceivable way, and yeah, disagreeable's accurate, bro. You just gotta know that you are a god, and I know it sounds far fetched, for like the regular, like you'd
How
say,
could you
but
say that? How could you say you're a god, bro? I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just really just thought it's like, all right. So to bring to the hip hop shit, Kanye has a song called "I Am a God," and I remember when people first heard that, they were like, "Yo, what is he? What? Like how? Blah blah blah." Like, that's fucked up. And then in an interview,
no. Wait, but remember the interview that he did? I think it was a decade ago. That when he said that, I think it was on BBC. It was a white guy interviewing him, and he was
yeah,
like,
Zane
"Yo,
Lowe.
yeah, I just told you who the fuck I am. I think I'm a god, And a lot of people thought he was on coke or he was crazy on some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But one thing that what stuck out to me in that specific interview is that like he was like, would it be better if I said I'm a nigga? It would be cool if I said I'm a nigga, but if I said I'm a god, no, that's taking it too far. Especially
Facts.
when I have the last name of a slave master. Like that shit stuck out to me even back then. And like just hearing this conversation kind of just reminded me of that, and the fact that like somebody who is in this matrix is perceived to be at the bottom of the totem pole, um, that was created by other human beings, to say something like that, to blow people's minds like that, and for people to feel that way about someone saying that about themselves. It's like, what does that say about you? If you get offended by someone else's confidence or someone else's understanding of themselves and the universe and of their mind and potentials and talents, like, what does that say about you? You know what I mean? But yeah, my bad. But keep going, bro.
How dare you? How dare you understand the workings and the mechanisms of this fucking nonsense that we're in? You know what I'm saying? Like, before we got cut off, I was gonna say this. Everything that's coming at you from every angle all the time is to manipulate your visualization, to stress you out and manipulate your visualization. Because all the shit you take in from the external, you're processing internal, and you have the internal dialogue, then you're seeing things in your mind, is controlling your visualization. And once it controls your visualization, you're fucked. You have to have the imagination of a child. Even when the nonsense comes in and it could make you mad, you need to be able to Mickey Mouse that shit. Make it a cartoon, squish it, get it the fuck. You need to do whatever you need to do to get that shit to the left so you can think clearly and decide what you want to visualize and move forward with and manifest. And everything from the government to the mass media to the music to the internet to the subcultures on YouTube and shit like that, to motherfuckers who think they have the answer and shit. Yo, beware of anybody who says they have the fucking answer. Because I'm not telling you I have the answer. I'm telling you I just observed how they fuck us over. I read a lot of stupid occult books, and it makes sense to me. So if you have a better idea, then tell me a better idea. But if anybody tells you they know for sure what's going on, they're probably lying to you and trying to manipulate you. Because I don't believe in shit. I believe in results. You feel me? So if it gets me results, it doesn't have to make sense. I'm going to stop right there because that's going to lead into another part. We're going to get in down further to the show of how you can manipulate this matrix through shit that don't make sense. Because this shit doesn't make sense. So you can make shit that's nonsensical make sense to you, and it makes shit manifest. I know it's going over a lot of people's heads, but I digress.
Yeah, that's facts. It's one thing because I started like going on this YouTube shit and like going on panels and talking to different people like earlier, like towards like last year, the middle of last year. But anyway, and like one thing, and it just hit me like recently, like fairly recently. I started thinking about this. It's like when you listen to some people talk, and they constantly push one certain narrative constantly. It's like, how do you trust somebody? Like, it's like, how do you know you're not speaking to someone who works for someone who's supposed to deliver this message to you? Like, when you said don't believe people who say they have the answers, like that kind of popped in my mind that like, okay, like who are you getting your information from, and why in your head do you think that they're, I guess you say, certified or qualified to give out that information as truth? Now, it's one thing if you say, oh, this is my opinion, these are my observations, this is just what what do you think about this? It's one thing like that, right? But if someone's talking in absolutes, it's like they're either trying to get you to believe what they're trying to push onto you, or they're just stupid as fuck, or it could be both.
Motherfuckers are demons trying to bring you into their hell. I like to break things down into shit that, like, simple shit that people can understand. They're demons trying to bring me into their hell. How do I know? Because you're trying to bring me into your reality, and from my position where I'm observing you, it's definitely not heaven, nigga. It's definitely not infinite possibilities. So therefore, it's hell or something close to it. So you're trying to get me to your nonsense because you're a familiar spirit. Oh shit, I'm getting deep with this. I'm cooking. You're a familiar spirit. You supposed to be a god, but you're not a god. So you familiar, but you not real, recognize real, and you looking kind of familiar, but you just a familiar spirit, dog. You're just a demon trying to speak to me, speak through me. Motherfuckers have zero power, and they want you to have zero power with them. You understand what I'm saying? Most people preaching these reality. Look. Even since I'm talking to you guys, you can even look at like the so-called red pill community, black pill communities, all these shits. Look at these people who are really running these channels and who are really the heads of the. Do they seem like they're living in like happiness or bliss? Because I don't think you're here on earth to be happy, but I'm just using that as a mundane word for people to understand. Do they look like they're living contently? Do they look like they're experiencing reality how they want to experience it, or do they look desperate? Do they sound desperate? Do they look like little fucking rats scurrying? You know what I'm saying?
Rats. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I came across some information a couple of days ago about certain people in these spaces, and I'm just like, oh, I myself, along with other people, are listening to this person after finding out certain information. I'm just like, okay, it makes sense. I see what this is now. So I definitely agree. I mean, I think one of the 40 laws of power, maybe paraphrasing, I might be titling it wrong, but it said, take no man's word as law. And I think that's what it's worded. I forgot which one it is, and also one of the other laws is remain formless Now I know I'm using someone else's law as a reference as to not take someone else's law. I know I just contradicted myself, but I say all that to say that, like, you know, it's one thing to gain information and kind of like kind of compare it and contrast it to what you have experienced or what you're observing. But when you take someone's word, absolute word, as law, because they take their word as absolute word law, they're pretty much putting you into their reality, like as you mentioned before. And I think with these like red pill, black pill spaces, is that the most of it's a grift, right? Motherfuckers are just trying to make money. They're also trying to push their reality onto other people. And if your reality is similar to someone else's reality, okay, cool. But like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, whenever I talk to people, like in real life, that is, whenever I talk to people and they explain to me their problems, like, oh, I'm going through this, blah blah. The first thing I always say is, okay, what are you gonna do about it? I don't like to make things into a pity party or turn people's problems into pity parties or dismiss people's actual, you know, observations and experiences. I will never be that type of person. But my response to anyone is, what are you going to do about it? Okay, you were aware of the problem. Are you going to go through analysis paralysis and just think of a bunch of shit and not do anything? Or are you actually going to come with some kind of understanding and make an action towards it? Because if you're just complaining, that's why I don't like to talk to people about their problems a lot of times. Because a lot of times people just want to vent. They don't really want solutions. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, like, you have to really, like, think your way out of a problem. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really fight, because this is a spiritual warfare, psychological warfare. We all understand that. But not everybody understands that. So I think it's important to not let people's problems manifest onto you.
And it comes back full circle. Like, what's the first step to knowing that there's a solution? You have to know that there's a possibility that there are other realities outside of what you're experiencing. And it's better. I guess people need to crawl before they walk, before they run. But let me get all the way to the point. It's better to understand that this shit is not totally rule based. Like, we're watching this shit is rule based. For me to get downstairs in my building, I have to go in, press the fucking button to the lobby, go down 51 floors, be at the fucking floor, walk out the building. You feel me? That is the linear. That's how we view reality, because we have to walk through it in these avatars. But and it's hard to. I need to research more because I want to convey this better. But because I have an understanding, but I want to learn. I want to figure out how to convey this properly. That things aren't as far away as you think they are. Like, for example, I like to bring everything back to working out because it's very tangible and you can see it. Sometimes when you start something, it seems very far away. But then by the time you reach your goal, you can't even conceive that time. The only way you can conceive that time is by looking at what the devil's put up, like clocks and shit like that. That's the only way you really conceive that time, like, because of this date and this time. Because once you really shift realities, you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's like looking back. That's not even your world anymore. You have to make up a story to even connect to that person. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I was there. I was in that house. I used to date that girl, and I did. That shit's not even real anymore. That's just not even real. You're making a story just so you fucking can handle this shit and don't have a nervous breakdown to understand that you've shifted realities. You've moved into a whole different timeline. You've reverberated a different timeline. That nigga who you left behind is still walking down that timeline and going down that bullshit. You've created a new reality. You splintered off. You made a new rhizomorph off the fucking mycelium. You understand what I'm saying? So, if people can understand that they can do that, then they can understand I can start to think about not resolutions, not fucking not results. Why is the simple ass word fucking slipping my mind? Not reaction. What word is slipping my mind right now when people make excuses and they can't get to the fucking where they're trying to get to?
I don't know. Delusions, procrastination. I don't know. I'm not the source, but I get what you're trying to say though. Yeah, man. People have limited
solutions. My bad. Solutions. Yeah. Serious mind fuck up right there. That's what you get trying to explain shit in mundane terms. You got to flow with this shit. You try to get mundane with it, this shit will just start, man. And before I let you go, I want to say this last thing too, to connect to what you were saying. When you really get to talk to people who aren't solutions based and they make excuses for everything, you realize that the majority of people are a slave to or a slave to this reality, or a slave to this construct, and this construct has their mind, and this construct wants you in torment. If you notice, most people are just faking the funk. They are in torment. If you really speak to motherfuckers, they're fucked up in the head. They don't really know how to think and shit. They know how to act regular around people and shit like that. But people are like on fucking edge. But you can go ahead.
Well, yeah. Shit. Like, see, to me, as I walk in the shadow of the valley of death, known as this matrix, I really observe how people go about things, and compared to how I go about things, I'm not perfect, and I still have a long way to go to get to a level that I want to get to mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever. But I've realized that a lot of people, they have been brainwashed, lack of a better word, but they have very limited belief systems. I mean, very limited belief just in general, and they get trapped in identity. And I think identity is one of the worst things you could put up on yourself. Are labels, right? Like, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Republican, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that. Because when you get into identity, you are limiting yourself because you are stuck. You're trapping yourself in the construct of that identity. So anything outside that identity, you're gonna reject it, or it's gonna confuse you, even if you agree with it. Like when someone claims to be, let's say, I don't know, a Democrat or a leftist or a liberal, whatever it is, when deep down inside they think they really, in reality, based off their actions and what they do and how they speak, they're really the opposite. But because they identify with this thing, or they put that title upon them, it has confused them into what they think and what they actually they feel and what they actually think versus what they profess to other people. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but I don't know if that connected. But what I'm basically trying to say is that with this internet stuff, right, and with these, like, for example, the manosphere and stuff like that. I mean, when you align yourself with an identity and you put yourself in this box, you are basically putting yourself in a mental prison. Like, I don't really, in this earthly realm, you are in a body, you are in an avatar in which you have to live through, right? But that is only the physical, and as we know, the enemy is not of flesh and blood, but of principalities and ideals. And when you when you put an identity on yourself, you are putting yourself in those principalities and ideals, to where you're limiting yourself and you'll never really reach your full potential and stuff like that. So I think it's important to understand. I think it's important to stop putting labels on yourself. I know it's hard to do in this reality because you fill out a census, you fill out an application, you have to put black, you have to put white, or you have to put nationality, or you pretty much, the system will make you do that. You know what I mean? And then when you put that on yourself, now you are going to be fed propaganda, or you're easily susceptible to propaganda. Right now, it's election year. We're going into 2024. This is where the identity politics rev up, and the machine will start pushing things, right, for you to go back into your identity. Oh, it's election time, I gotta be in my Democrat mode, or I'm I want to vote for this president, so I have to put myself into this. You know what I mean? And it's all one big play at the end of the day.
Do you understand? You understand what you just said, right? You said the same thing I've been saying, but you gave like a good example of like a government paperwork, and then you have to check this box to do this or that, and write your name in this box. And you know how they have each box for each letter, your name and shit like that. This is a paper with shapes, symbols, numbers, and then you have to sign and put marks on this shit. This is some magical shit you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That is interfacing with your mind. It's interfacing with your mind when you do this. When you check this, when you look at this choices, these are all the only choices I have. I guess I'm black. And then you fucking check this fucking box. Now you're like, oh, now I'm black. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean when you just checked I'm black?
Right. Check this out. Real quick, check this out. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Boom. Right there.
I would have been like, thank you, sir. I'm definitely not black. You fucking robot, alien nigga. Like, the shit is and I want to stay on this side of everything that's going on, because we can observe these things and laugh at them and shit like that, but I want to stay on the side of infinite possibility and the joy of life. What's there to be grateful for? Not that I am, because you can observe shit all day, fucking bums, You see fucking like homeless people missing limbs and shit like that, crazy people in the street. You'll see examples in your own family, motherfuckers who are out their mind, you know what I'm saying? You'll see all these things around you. But those things are only as real as they are. And they are going to be regardless of how you react to them emotionally or how it's affecting your nervous system. Those things are going to be. So it's better to control your nervous system so you can be what you need to be and not be caught up in what is being around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Like I said, the enemy is not of flesh and blood, but of ideas and principalities, and all this system that has been constructed for us to basically be a slave to. Enforces that in almost every aspect, and they say the power is in the pen, not of the sword, or the pen is mightier than the sword. Well, I would say at this point in time, the pixel is mightier than the sword, right? Because we're all just staring at pixels anyway, ones and zeros. But overall, it's like your life can change by someone writing something down, literally.
But that's what yes, yes, and no. Because I will say again, I subscribe to infinite possibility. And here's the thing: there can be two truths can exist at once, especially in this fucking absurd reality. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, they could be doing everything and pushing this image, and yeah, somebody could sign some paperwork in a country, and this whole shit changes and all that. Like, it's whatever. But I'm not living in hypotheticals, and I'm not going to lend my energy to making something I don't want to happen. You understand what I'm saying? So the devil's going to work all day. Niggas not gonna stop. You feel me? And I'm not gonna stop winning. This is a mentality that needs to be had. Yes, the devil's wilding. Yes, and I don't give a fuck. Fuck him. Fuck the devil. Fuck Moloch. Fuck Baal. Fuck all these niggas who these people are praying. Guess what? I'm glad they're praying to these motherfuckers and doing sacrifice and all this shit. You know why I'm glad? Because those motherfuckers. I'm older than those motherfuckers. My soul is as old or older. Those are my homies or niggas or the ops at best. They're not above me. Not above me. They're my niggas or the ops at best. At best. That's it. So all this nonsense is going around. We can let go of that shit. Put that shit behind you. Yes, we know what's going on. We know that the government's doing this. We know Obama signed in the NSA and all this shit. We know that they fucking lit Hawaii on fire and people who painted shit blue in the fucking Oprah and Bezos houses right there next to burnt down houses. We know this shit is there to make you mad and look at this shit and get into this shit. You feel me? Oh, bro, look what they can do to these people. I don't care what you can do to these people, because if you can do it to me, then do it to me. You understand what I'm saying? I refuse to live in this reality. Have you ever seen the Usual Suspects? I'm on some Kaiser Soze shit. I will burn down my house and shoot my whole family before I let you control me, control my mind, and control my reality and all that. So once you take that stance, you can say I can put all that behind me, because if it comes, I'll deal with it when it gets here. Other than that, we don't need to deal with the hypothetical terrorism that they're doing on your mind all day through propaganda. We don't need to consider that. You know what we need to be considering all day? Ourselves, our own minds. What we want to do.
By the way, that's what I meant by words and like people changing lives. Like I was gonna get to. I guess what I was trying to say is that, what I really want to say is that you can do the same. You know what I mean? Like, you can write some shit down about, because you were saying how damn, I forgot how you worded it, but you basically said that like you can mind control yourself, right? Like this is why I think it's like when people write down like affirmations and mantras and stuff like that, or like people even on a simple level, like just writing down like what I used to do is this might be kind of corny, but like what I used to do is I used to put like a reminder on my phone, and I said it every day. I used to be like, you are the shit, or you are the man, or yo, kill it today, something like that. I used to put a reminder on my phone. So every day, like when I would wake up to go to work or go to school, whatever it is, I would get that reminder. It would just come up to on my screen or whatever it is. And that changed the course of my day. For example, I think all three of us, we write like poetry or lyrics or something to that extent. For me, Like I've written manifestation downs in the form of rhymes and lyrics and stuff like that, and I've had things happen in my life that were based upon shit that I wrote that may not have necessarily been true at the time, right? But it eventually happened. And when you repeat something and you listen to something over and over again, basically, right? Like if you turn on the radio or your playlist or whatever the fuck is who listens to radio these days, but when you turn on music, you're listening to someone else's manifestations on themselves, and you're believing it for them. They're creating a perception about them. Like these artists will make a perception about themselves, or these labels will make these artists do that. But anyway, these artists will create a perception of themselves in their lyrics, and you listen to them being like, yeah, I guess Rick Ross really was moving, or yeah, I guess Jeezy was really moving all that coke. He's the realest nigga alive and shit like that. Really, you don't know that that motherfucker just made you believe in something that may not have necessarily been true, but because now they've put it in a form of hypnosis, you believe it to where you go see him in concert, or you see him, you meet him, you shake his hand. He's already created a perception about himself that you believe in. That may not necessarily be true, but you believe it because they put it into your head, so you can do the same. You know what I mean?
I feel you. While you were saying that, I was thinking about the manipulation through the music and all that, and I was like, why does the horrible shit still sound good and feel good on a level? It doesn't feel good as the old school instrumental shit with love in the lyrics. It's not that same feeling, that real healing feeling, but there's still wavy shit with evil in it, lyric wise and all that. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me think that being a true chaos being somebody who's connected to the infinity, you kind of realize none of that shit matters. So that energy is the same. No matter how horrible it looks, it's still something being tapped in from the chaos field. It might even be the lowest level, and we're not used to getting what we really, they're getting the real manna, the real angel food that we're supposed to get. But just because that's like the closest we're getting to it, and we're the only ones who can really convey that energy, it's appealing, and it's appealing to everybody because motherfuckers are like vampiring off of us anyways. So you see how much control it has at the shit level, at its putrid level, how much power it has. Think about if you refine this and you extract it and you make it what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? If you make this art what it's supposed to be, because it's not really supposed to be art. I think that's doing it a disservice. I think everything that we created is our science is beyond sonic arts. You feel me? This shit is doing shit to you on molecular levels. But I digress.
Yo, KB, what do you guys say? You have any input on that?
Yeah, I mean, you guys were going in real hard, man, and what I've sort of like was getting and thinking about, was like lucid dreaming, bro. Lucid dreaming, like, is probably one of the really vital keys, and yeah, into unlocking, like, actually seeing um the sort of variety of the options within yourself and what you can possibly do, which eventually does equate to infinite possibility. But I was really thinking about it, that shit, like the other day. I was like, yo, man, like in my dreams, I could change avatars, I could change clothes, I could change a bunch of bullshit. And I was even thinking about the financial system. I'm like, yo, man, the Federal or Reserve Bank prints a certain amount of money, but like they don't account for like interest, business interests, or like inflation, or a business markup, actually. Like that shit is put out there for people to work and bring forth that money. So in essence, like the construct is such. I think I wouldn't put it as an ultimate construct, or like the Matrix. I wouldn't put it as an ultimate construct, but it was just letting me know, like, you need to zombify. We saw it with the COVID thing, like with the masks and all that bullshit, right? Like, you need to zombify people. You need to create a sort of like a belief system that's so integrated with the knowing part that gives them results, so you can have people or like sort of like extract human um spiritual energy or whatever, you know to keep this alive, I don't know if you guys get me, but yeah,
No,
man, like
I
it's
actually
just
get you. I actually get you, and it's funny because you brought the COVID thing because that 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 right there was that was the one of the biggest mass spell casting I think I've ever witnessed in my life, um, cognitively and being aware of this information. Right, like that right there, just from them typing up some stuff and saying some stuff and showing some images, they brainwashed and MKO'd the entire world. But go ahead, bro. Who's cooking?
yeah. So like yeah, I just want to tie this back into like what I mentioned at the beginning, like about lucid dreaming. Like I mean, like this is why I always tell you, Wavy, like, look, man, I feel more alive in my dreams than I am in like what we consider reality. You know, I think it's Plato that mentioned this. No, it wasn't Plato. I think it was Pythagoras or I don't know, Euclid or some motherfucker. These white dudes always jacking our shit. He
Shout out
Street
was
white people.
jacking.
sorry.
I just said shout out white people. I can't have Africans coming over here hating on good white Americans. But okay, keep going, Kings.
Yeah, yeah. So he came up with the analogy of he came up with this musical monocard that had like these 12 strings, and he represented these strings as different constructs or different um sort of realities, and each and every like sort of like string had like different sort of like what you'd call notes or vibrations, and the lowest sort of string he regarded it to as earth, so how I see it, like that's what I'm saying, like with lucid dreaming, bro, like I started doing this shit like I mean, like 3 years ago, I think 3 years ago, and now that I'm really deep into this shit, like I could like get into a dream and look for a certain thing within a dream, right? And like in a dream, like looking for a mirror and looking for a clock on time, like that's some real shit that you have to like, you know, um, I think not adapt, but sort of like learn how to. It sort of like teaches you what and how to move or operate within whatever internal subconscious construct that you have like sort of rigged within that dream, whatever picture that you've painted within that dream, because like as you go on, you keep on creating these things, and you realize like so many distractions and there's so many ways that this thing is pulling you against what you want, so I think the eventually when I do reach a mirror, or when I do see time, it is not as real as I would expect it to be, which is actually showing me that, yo man, nothing that you consider as real isn't as real as you actually think it is. So yeah, I don't know.
No, you're making total sense. I'm thinking about what you're saying with like let me just ask first. You found a mirror in lucid dreaming and you've interacted with it?
Bro, you know what's really trippy about that, bro? Like, um when I did it first time, right? I did when I saw a mirror, I did not see myself, right? I saw myself in another sort of like um avatar, right? I was like, yo, uh, is this me? What the fuck is going on, And then it like immediately when I had the thought of how I look in this reality, like, oh me, that's when I switched up into like myself, like how I look. I was like, yo, is that's way fucking trippy, and yeah, bro, it just made me think like, yo, mirrors are sort of like a signifier of a parallel dimension. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Like it's
Yeah,
fucked up.
they're
Because
classically known as gateways. And I just wanted to add like to add something to simplify what you were saying earlier because you put it in a dope way technically, but it's the same way like when I was really practicing like astral travel and lucid dreaming. doing different practices like getting into different mental states, visualization countdowns and shit when I was more heavy into the study. The easiest way for me to explain to people was getting better over there makes over here easier. You know what I'm saying? Doing getting
Thank you.
getting your footing in lucid dreaming, for some reason, life just gets smoother on this side. You know, like I can't really put my finger on it like, oh, this equals this. No, I did this over there and it made this happen over here. Nah, it's not like that. It's just like maybe it's just awareness, period. It's just awareness. And then expanding your awareness into a different plane of existence is going to make this one over here more powerful too. You're going to be more aware, more attentive. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're doing the simple exercises for lucid dreaming. I'm sure KB knows about this shit, like trying light switches, touching doorknobs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or touching above a door every time you go through it. You do this repetitive shit, and then you'll do it in your dream, and something weird will happen. You know, like your hand will go through the top of the door when you usually hit the top of the door or whatever, or you flick the light and the light won't change, and you'll know you're in a dream or whatever. Some people count their fingers. Like there's a bunch of different things that you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll talk to a person. Yeah, knocks them
Yeah.
out. You actually in the construct. Yeah. True, bro. And this kind of ties into what you mentioned earlier on. Um, man, that fuck man, that thought even just slipped my mind because you were talking about lucid dreaming and all that, right? But I think yeah, oh yeah, I got my thought back. What you were talking about, like knowing that your soul or you are sort of like the sort of manifestation or like that you're an old soul, like that you know like all these Luciferian guys and all these Morlocks guys, like they are your ops or they have been your niggas on a certain level. I was really thinking about it, like a lot of people don't have the privilege of even being lucid, which really made me think about, like, this is not on a egotistical, individualistic mind state, but it really made me internalize myself. It really made me understand, like, and value who and what I am, and what and like the sort of possibilities and manifestations that I can come up with. What you just mentioned, that like if you can do this stuff, on that level. I mean, when you wake up and come down here, you like, I know it's fuzzy at first, like it's like, yo man, like, yeah, I mean, because of my mind programming, oh, it's just a dream, it doesn't really matter. But like eventually shit start hitting the fan, like you start seeing it, like, yo, I could do crazy shit up there, man. Like, this ain't really nothing, bro. Nothing should be moving me in this reality, because of the things that move me on that sort of higher frequency level. Like it's on some archon, tip, like, level. Like I can't be, like Wavy was saying, I can't be moved by another man's word and actually think that's a law. Yeah, I feel like I'm going on a rant, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Like that, me being lucid, I realized, no, I mean, I thought we were all zombified. I thought, okay, everybody can go lucid. This isn't just me. But the more I started talking to people, I realized, yo, man, a lot of people don't have the mental capacity or the mind power to sort of pull into these other higher realms. And I'm not saying that, look, man, I'm privileged or I'm just nah, I'm just saying, like, it just made me really
Bro,
think
it is
about,
what it
like,
is. It is what it
yeah,
is. Put it this way: if I do more push-ups than you, I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. It is what it is what it is. You don't have to be humble about that shit. You spent more time. I've done that work. It's not, you don't just go, oh, now I'm gonna go this lucid dream. No, you do work to make these things happen. This is effort, and you put this effort forward, so you're better than people at it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You're inferior to me when it comes to the fucking beyond the mundane shit. Why? Because you haven't put the work in. But guess what? You can subscribe to infinite possibilities like me and put the work in and do what I've done or greater. You feel me? That's the beauty of the shit. That's why I don't like hearing excuses from motherfuckers, and why you like, if there is no time and nothing and none of this shit really matters, let people do what they're gonna do at their own time and concentrate on yourself. And that's the beauty. And I'm glad you brought the lucid dreaming, because it goes with the title, infinite possibilities and the absurdity of the matrix. Lucid dreaming is all about you. It's about you. You're concentrating on yourself to make something happen for yourself. It has nothing to do with nobody else. There's something beautiful about that shit. You're interacting with yourself solely. Maybe when you get to the other side, you're interacting with other things. Maybe, because I've asked those questions to these characters and they don't give me a straight answer. But I'll figure it out one day. But it's a beautiful selfish act. It's deeper than meditation. It's deeper than meditation. Setting a little fucking timer and sitting there and whatever. That's not how I meditate, but that's how the person classically thinks of it. Oh, I'm going to clear my mind for this time. No, there is no. You're not relaxing. We are doing work all the time. If we are not observing, we are being. If we are not observing, we are being. What's the word? Active. We're being proactive. Either we're observing or we're being proactive. There is no in between. There is no escape. People want to blank their minds out. I want to be in nirvana. There's no nirvana, nigga. You here, nigga. You feel me? And guess what? I subscribe to infinite possibilities, so you can program yourself into what you would like to have and what you would describe and think of as nirvana. So you can have that. That's the beauty of infinite possibilities. If a nigga came over here, there's nothing to argue about this shit. If a nigga came over here, he's like, I don't believe in that. I bet, you know what? I believe in you. I believe there's a possibility that you don't believe and you ain't gonna be shit forever. It's good. It's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? Infinite possibilities eliminates all arguments. Because what is there to argue about when the shit is about you? All the shit's about you. But I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, like you said, I think that's one of the hardest shit that I've ever heard you say about like attributing it to like lucid dreaming. Like it is one of the most, I wouldn't say beautiful, but one of the most magical I don't know. Yeah, like self-reflecting or self-critical. I don't self-critiquing things that you can do to yourself about yourself. You know, because like on that level, you can see that, fuck, man, I'm really projecting all this shit. Like this bad bitch that I'm seeing right now in my dream, like, yo, like I'm extracting this from Earth. Like in this realm, I have the control of just putting that out and doing whatever the fuck I want to do, you know. And I think it's a really powerful thing to do. And as a male, of course, I mean, like, yeah, you know, it's a really powerful and really it resonates with a certain character or trope within the like a man, being a man dynamic, you know, because now it makes you value, like, okay, this is who I am and this is what actually moves me and this is what resonates and I identify and relate to, you know. I can't be moved by the regular bullshit, you know. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. The lucid dreams there's more quote unquote finger signs in the air, fucking freedom, but there's still rules to even that construct, right?
Here's what's funny, right? That I've noticed, right? The things that you might consider as rules, I'd consider them as limiters, right? Because at a certain point when I started this shit, I was like, yo, I want to know how to fly, right? But when I got there, I couldn't really, me thinking about it and it limited me. It was like, yo, you're thinking about it too much that you won't be able to do it. It's just one of those things that you have to just do, you know. And eventually, like I'd say recently, like I just like I've just learned how to fly, and I don't really have to really think about it. Like, yo, I really need to fly, you know. I just be in a situation or scenario, and I'm like, yo, man, I can get the fuck out of this situation. It'd be like that. Like, I need to get the fuck out of this situation. How do I get out of the situation? I would just fly out of that situation. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, yes, there are rules, right? But I feel like the rules you create them, and I feel like this is where like reading and expanding your mind sort of actually um um it expands it beyond, because now you can see beyond like the matrix or the construct, right? You can think or manifest other worlds,
More,
because like
more,
I don't.
more. I was saying more novelty offers you more possibility. You feel me? And the more information you bring in, the more like, and the more you get out of a circular pattern, you it automatically brings more novelty. So it's just like a how do you say it, a positive feedback loop. You know what I'm saying? If you keep doing that shit, it's gonna get
Mhm.
flyer and flyer and flyer. It's just gonna get cooler and cooler. In the same way, like how you answered the question about what I just asked you, and how you answered it was perfect because it's the same thing as over here. That's what people don't get. That's what I'm getting with infinite possibility. The same thing that you can do over there, you can do over here. There's just different limiters. I use the word rules, you use limiters. There's different limiters. Maybe I can't just hop up and fly like that because there's a greater limiter, but the possibility is still there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. 1000%.
So we don't have to go extrapolate it all the way to those extreme examples. We could take it to simple things that you want to manifest within your life and understand that the limiters that are there is that you have to put physical motion behind the visualization in your mind. So you mean I just have to do work? Kind of, kind of. You have to hack the system. You have to hack the system. And so to hack the system, you have to interface with the system. What is interfacing with this system? Your avatar. So you need to move the avatar. What moves the avatar? The mind. Oh, so it becomes a feedback loop. My mind moves my avatar moving strengthens the vision in my mind. So which one's actually doing the work? Which one's actually bringing the manifestation forth? It seems like they're working in conjunction with each other, but the mind is more important because it starts the whole fucking motion. But yeah, I'll stop right there.
Yeah, I feel like Wavy's quiet on this one. Yo, Wavy,
Nah, I'm
what do you
just
think? Do you
listening,
think?
man. I'm just listening. I like what you guys are saying. I know when to shut up. You feel me? Like I'm in listening mode. But nah, man, like I listen to these conversations and just understanding certain things. It's like you look at you. How do you how it's almost like it's crazy to imagine. It's almost like it's crazy to think that other people don't think this way. You feel me? Like it's crazy. Like I could not. I'm not. I don't try to. I'm not trying to flex. Like I know this shit like down pat or anything like that. But like it's crazy that there are people that walk this earth with no type of nothing. Just I'm gonna watch the news. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna eat me a burger, and then I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'm gonna do it all over again. It's like, bro, like I don't know, but that's whatever. But I mean, yeah, bro, this world is just one of many. Like this reality is just one of many, and you have to harness the power of as much as you can to be able to tap into different things while your physical body is playing this game. The player, like I look at reality as like, or this reality as like a video game where it's like your avatar is walking and doing all this shit, but the player is in another realm, and it's like you still have the controller in your hand, and you can do anything you want with that avatar if you know how to play the game, so to speak. So I mean, I just look at
Facts.
this shit as like it's like Grand Theft Auto. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm still the player in control on the other side, but in this realm, I have to understand how to like. I it was like when you know a game, like you know the game. You have like the I don't know the walkthrough. I don't know if y'all used to play Pokemon or anything like that, but they used to have the walkthrough books you find at Walmart or like Target or whatever it is, and like having this type of knowledge is like having the walkthrough book where like okay like the walkthrough book has shows all like the whole game, the quote unquote rules, all the secrets, stuff like that. But you gotta just read it, and then when you play the game, you're avid, like you know what to do with the game, with how you know how to play the game better than your boy down the street that has the same game and he's playing it, but he don't have the walkthrough book. He's just going around figuring this shit out the hard way, which is not in some extents, yeah, okay, you want to stumble upon information in a organic way at times too, because it sparks curiosity. But when you understand that there's more to it than just collecting all the Pokemon or whatever it is, or like okay, like I can do this if I do this, I can do this if I do this. Bam! Now I'm 10 times ahead of everybody else that plays the same game that I'm playing. I hope I'm making sense. I kind of just like went off.
You are making sense, and I'm letting you go because you're kind of connecting to another part that we're gonna get in that I know we're all gonna get in. I know we're all gonna fuck with. So I'll let KB go ahead before I take it down that road.
Yeah, dude, wavy what you just said, bro. Like, get into the original player, bro. Like, fuck, bro. Like, you just triggered something in me. Like, oh, this is so crazy. Because, like, every time I sort of like go lucid, astral, project, whatever, bro, that is like one of like my really like major, huge sort of like at like overclouding, on some atmospheric level. Like I'm always thinking about that. Like I want to get to the original self. I want to get to the real actual player, you know. And I remember saying this to one of my elders. I'm like, yo, bro, like I'm trying to do that, And he told me like, look, man, are you willing to die? Like you have to. I think this is one of the limiters or rules that they've put in this construct, right? That death is this thing, oh, it's bad and all that shit. But that guy put it to me like in such a way, like, yo, if you're really willing to get to the original self or the player, you have to be able to renounce everything in this reality and be like, yo, I'm not moved by having to take a shit in the toilet or having to type it on the keyboard or having the fuck or bust a nut, Like you have to be able to be content with leaving this game, and just completely ejecting, trying to get to the actual real player, and not be a non-character player. And I feel like death is also one of those limiters that make these non-player characters, just be like, oh, I'm okay with just having a coffee every morning and having my bitch and simp out, that's a man, So yeah, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
No, I fuck with that, bro. We all have to, I think, get to that, get to understand the original player, the person behind the screen, or the person who's playing the avatar. You know what I mean? Because I think, and that's why, like, with the identity thing, it's like you'll never get to the original player, the actual player playing the game, if you're limiting yourself to an
But
identity that's
look,
earthly.
I just thought of this. Let me put this idea forward. Look at the celestial, how time, so-called time, moves, and not like time on a clock, meaning the cycle of the sky and the celestial cycles and shit like that, right? When you're manifested into this thing, whatever this construct, it has to be within this cycle because it just cycles around. That's why you could be born under specific zodiacs. Maybe, and now besides being born under different zodiacs, and there's like different signs. There's a different genders, how the planets are aligning. There's all these different codes that can go together. Is this the true player? Just experiencing aspects of itself. You know what I'm saying? Coming through different doors with different aspects. You're not supposed. You can't. It's like a weird thing, like to meet the real player. Like, how do you meet yourself?
By looking in, my brother.
No, because even how do I put this? How do I put this? Even on this plane, as like as a human individual or whatever you call yourself, you are still many different things in your mind. There's many different aspects of this self. You understand what I'm saying? This is infinite fractals through time in all directions through infinity. And we're in something that we can't even understand infinity. We can't even comprehend this shit because we feel like we're living a finite existence. Are you choosing to come here to experience what it is to be like finite through all these different aspects of yourself? See if you can refine this aspect, because I've heard a thing like, we're here and we're collecting experience and tucking it into our emotional travel bag, So once you're out of here, accelerating beyond infinity, you can't change. This is where you can change. This is where you can add different aspects to yourself. This is where you can add novelty to yourself. This is where you can expand yourself. And maybe something is taken over, like a fucking Bashir says, fucking an AIX or whatever, or something is in the way. Because here's the thing. This place seems shitty as shit sometimes. But no matter how crazy it is, motherfuckers shooting lasers and burning Hawaiians and fucking stealing 1,000 Hawaiian kids and taking them wherever and do whatever the fuck they're doing to them. Fucking 600 million people so-called dying in the slave trade, the Indians, and all this crazy shit's going on. But you can still see beauty and divinity in this place. That's how you know that this shit is just like the propaganda is being put in your face. All this shit is being done to not make you understand what you're in. This shit is supposed to be something good to enhance yourself, and something is in the way of that. But here's the beautiful thing. So, because I don't want to concentrate on what's in the way or whatever the fucking the whole ass devil's doing. That nigga, and the devil's gay for one. I don't care what the devil's doing. Here's the beauty about infinite possibilities. You can do all that, nigga. There's still a way around. We're hacking the matrix, nigga. We're creating back doors. Pause. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing, Satan. You're done, nigga. And here's the thing. I need to operate within the lines of this platform a bit more to garner a bigger audience. Because whoever can understand this message, I want them to hear it. Because I like saying it. I want them to hear it because I like saying it because it reinforces it to myself. It reinforces it to myself, and people you should be excited about this shit. There's no better news. This is the good news of the Lord, motherfucker. There's no better news. You should be excited about this shit. You know why? Because why do you think magical works work like that? Getting yourself into an emotional frenzy. What do you think that is? It's excitement. Excitement means something because you can feel it. All that matters here is what you feel and how it feels and how you interpret it to yourself. And you know when shit feels, this is just fucking exciting. This is good. I can do something with this shit. You know what I'm saying? There's an energy. There's an energy behind that excitement. There's how do I say it? You can take that excitement and turn that into creativity.
Right.
That excitement
that's true.
Gets turned into imagination. That excitement allows you to enhance your imagination and crystallize your visions because you're excited about it. You're emotional about this shit. You're like, yeah, fuck yeah. You're emotional about yourself right now. You're not emotional about that external bullshit. You feel me? We know what's happening. We know the devil just shot a laser at fucking 1,000 kids' foreheads on goddamn Hawaii. We know what they're doing. But I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing about it except ball out. You feel me? If we all get together, I'm down to wild out on a mundane level just because I turn up one time because I know it doesn't matter. I'm down to hunt the motherfuckers down. You know what I'm saying? But that's most likely not going to happen because there's no cohesion. There's no cohesion. So I don't want the cohesion. I just want to ball out. And I said this before, and I said this to one of my homies before. I was like, yo, it might sound arrogant. Then you bring KB back in here. Pause. And it might sound arrogant, but I was saying, like, yo, everybody should pray that I win. A lot of people around me should pray. Every night should pray. Whatever God you pray to, it goes. If you sacrifice and shit, you should sacrifice it to something and pray that I win. Why? Because I've proven that I have the capacity to do what you niggas ain't gonna do. There's a couple. It's not just me. There's a couple people who will do who's like, I don't give a fuck how it sounds right now. I'm not apologizing. Who are on the level that I'm at. Because I know most people are not going to do what it takes, visualization-wise, fucking physical exertion wise to get to the next level. And a lot of people who will do that, they'll still live in scarcity because they don't understand infinite possibility. They'll be like, oh my God, I got $1 million. I got to store it here. And now it has to make me this money. And I have to retire. Nigga, fuck that. We're going to run it up until the end of time.
Fuck it up.
We're gonna
Fuck
run,
up the commas.
we're gonna run it up until the end of time because the money is slavery and I don't respect it or believe in it. It's just bullshit notes that I gotta hand around. And once I run it up to a certain level, everybody eats. Why? Because this is a proven phenomenon. I've done this throughout my life. So think about what I'll do when the paper is really supposed to where it's really supposed to be. It's just a consequence. It's just a consequence of who I am. That's what I'm saying. And everybody's not like that. So if you are that beam of light around your people, if you are that beacon of light, you stop being humble. Tell niggas to get in line. Tell niggas to get in line or get the fuck away from you. It is what it is. I know I digress a bit. It might sound like some nigga shit, but I'm still on the magical shit. It's still the same shit. I'll stop though. What were you saying?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, emotion. I noticed that this matrix of society is like they make emotions a bad thing, like in certain space, like for example, like the red pill space or something like that. Like they make it seem like emotions are always negative, or being emotional is always negative. Like, yeah, you don't want to be like a bitch, right? But at the same time, it's like you can use emotions, both good and bad, to channel into some kind of positive outcome or a productive outcome. To me, emotions is just energy in motion. So that energy that you're taking, you're putting it into motion. Therefore, you become emotional. You could take that energy and you could use that emotional energy or that energy in motion to create something that will have a positive outcome or have a productive outcome. It's all about how you use it. Like if something bad happened to you or something, or you're feeling negative emotions, channel that shit into working out or channel that shit into some art. But this idea, I notice like the society is becoming more and more mechanical and robotic because they make it seem like, oh, you stop being emotional and stuff. Like again, don't be a bitch. I'm not saying go be emotional and go do something stupid, right? That's when you're using that energy emotion for something stupid. But you can take that energy emotion or emotion and take that and do something with it that will benefit yourself and even better benefit yourself and other people around you.
Yeah, you're talking about steering your emotions and not being
Yeah.
driven around by your fucking emotions. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between
Yo,
that.
yo.
And what is there besides emotion and imagination? There is nothing else.
Right.
Nothing else exists. Those are your strongest tools. They work in conjunction with each other. You know what I'm saying? They enhance each other. But go ahead, KB.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what you just said right there with emotions, or maybe like it made me think about like how people from the tribes, you'd consider them illiterate, right? And like these people have no they haven't read any books or some shit like that, but they be coming up with the most profound shit. Like a motherfucker once told me that, look, the lowest form of alchemy is emotions, and what you just said, right, about like wavy, like how powerful emotions are, I think a lot of people that I've met that are into magic, deeply into magic, especially, African, ancient, spiritual, yeah, blah blah blah. They'd always tell you like, look, man, your intention should not really be driven by an emotion, that's sort of, as a high, ranking magician, you're not supposed to be altered by such lower. They consider this lower vibrational thing. But just to end on this, right? What you said about society, right? I really f with that, because society will tell you, yo, be an individual, man. Yeah, be an individual. That's what we're striving for. Just like the whole thing with the chicks with the feminism. Oh yeah, being an individual, being independent. But here's the thing, right? Like you become an individual and you become independent, and then all of a sudden once you reach that level, society wants to intervene and tell you, okay, how to be an individual or how to be independent. No, we shouldn't be this type of individual. You should be this type of individual. But that's when I was like, yo, man, you always shifting the goalposts, with this. That's how like I hate society, bro. Like I can't stand it, bro. Like I don't know. Like it's just I, it's really hard for me to like even. I'm not saying that I'm an internet person or I'm an internet nigga, but the mere fact that there's other um realities within this reality, like I'm talking to you guys, right? About profound shit that I don't have proximity or access to right now currently because of majority of the elders that I considered as okay, these people I have to consult with them. They've left this realm, right? And my friends don't have that are like in direct contact with me don't have the mental capacity to sort of like see things, not only even break down things to, to this extent. So me being aware that there's other niggas out there, so it's not like I'm living in my, restricted or constricted reality. Oh, I'm in Africa, it's limited. Yeah, bro. Like it made me really realize, like, fuck society, bro. Like I can't even, like, I can't, bro. Like I can't even listen to a motherfucker right now, like in real life. Like I was at the mall the other day, a motherfucker was trying to have a conversation with me on some good vibe. Hey, I'm smiling. Oh yeah, dude. I'm like, yo, I can't even, bro. I can't even listen to this guy, bro. Like society to me right now is like once I see the zombie within a person, I can't. It's like it's unfathomable. I can't even see it, bro. Like it's crazy, bro. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, but I
Nah,
hope you.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's crazy out here, bro. The zombies is out
Let,
here. People are
let me
brain with dead.
let me add this. There are people attached to, in your. This is all facts. Like I said, and I'm glad we're getting this out now on the Pivot Show. Let me put it this way: the shaman, the medicine man, the spiritual man within the society, the village, the microcosm of a macrocosm of this crazy society, the village is he doesn't live right there with the people. He lives adjacent to them. Because even though they're his people and they're living a natural lifestyle, they are still living mundane. It doesn't make them bad. They just are not the shaman. They just are not the medicine man. They are not the spiritual man. You feel me? They're not the visionary. They are not the guy who eats the fucking 14 grams of mushrooms and runs around naked on the hill and comes back with information to tell you how to heal your little dumbass kid. They're different. And just because they're different doesn't mean that one's better than the other. This is the position that I'm playing right now. Or maybe I've always or maybe I or you or anybody else has always played through time. You feel me? You don't have to hate society. You just have to realize that you're here to do something away from it or for it. You're here to do something away from it or for it. No hate is needed. Because if you're here to help it, you look at it like a child. You look at it as like it's pathetic. You know what I'm saying? A teacher doesn't have to be friendly. A teacher doesn't have to be nice to you. We're on some kung fu shit. We're on some shit. If you really want to learn, come sit outside the temple on your knees for 7 days in the rain and in the fucking burning sun. Show that you want to get this knowledge. And I say that not for somebody to do that to me. I'm saying on the altar of life. Suffer for a result. And then you could even, hey, welcome to infinite possibility once again. You can transmute that suffering into joy because you know what is on the backside of that. You know what the result of this is, of intentional, self-imposed suffering, if you want to look at it that way. And I can still use the word suffering, and it doesn't even give the same connotation that it gives to the normal person because I'm not mundane. For me, self-imposed suffering means I'm about to do some fly shit. Some cool-ass shit is coming after this. All this is worth it. This is just necessary for me to understand this within this bullshit that I'm in. And before you know it, blink, You're in another space. You're in another time, and maybe you can get somebody else's information, or you can just use it to do it for yourself. Society don't matter. You feel me? These people, and here's I'm just freestyling right now, so I'm thinking as I go. These people, you can sometimes I question like the NPC thing, the a young soul, or you're just fully propagandized, and I can't call it. I can't call it. I can't look at you and figure out what's going on because you're just propagandized. It is what it is. You're here in hell. You just haven't figured out how to navigate this shit yet. Or even me, I'm still sucking it. I'm still calling it hell. But at least in my mind, I can be like, I'm still chilling in hell. I'm doing cool in hell. But I can't stop calling it hell because I know they're fucking with the innocent. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I still call it hell. But beyond that, I'm cooling. I'm good. And I feel like this shit's weird. It's weird as hell because I can imagine myself being 80 years old, 85, with a shitty, broken apart body, like about to die, and having the same mind, being the same person. And this bit like, whoa, this shit was crazy, you know? Like I was younger, I used to be able to do all types of crazy shit. Now I'm just this fucking weak. You're like the machine is breaking down, but I'm still here, regular in my head. Like this shit isn't an adventure. This shit is not oppression. Whatever is in this shit is trying to make you think it's oppression. This shit is not oppression. I'll stop there.
Word. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you gotta take the people. I think it's important to understand, you know, the reality you're dealing with, or the matrix within the reality you're dealing with, and remove the mental shackles from your mind that they've put on you, you know, since elementary school, and you know, all the TV shows and movies and shit like that. And once you do that, and you understand, as you like to put it, infinite possibilities, then you're just one step closer to fulfillment and freedom on a level that most people can't even imagine because they can't imagine it. Like there's this thing in certain spaces, like this term called cope, right? And they're like, "Oh, you're coping because oh, this is cope." You already know. And it's just like, okay, so what are you supposed to do?
Anything that brings you self satisfaction is cope.
Right, exactly.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's just like, well, what are you supposed to do then? Just be miserable and wallow in misery, or you know, like try to change that? Because while I'm still here, while I'm still alive, while I'm still in this society and this matrix or this part of the matrix, whatever it is, I'm gonna do things that are gonna give me fulfillment. And if that leads me to become who I really want to be, and so be it. It's like, okay, well, if work is cope and video games is cope and music is cope and bitches is cope, everything is just cope, then you might as well just kill yourself so you can come right back.
I'm not killing my that coping sounds pretty fire. Making cool ass art, and I'm smashing twin sisters in Colombia, and then I go do scientific expeditions. And I'm doing scientific expeditions, nigga. I didn't go to college, but somehow the kid who got thrown off his path, I'm back at the highest levels of cutting edge science and within my field. It's kind of crazy, right? That doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make any sense. Some guy who was in the streets, who went from nothing, from sleeping on the floor to sleeping on the couch to having a room to having an apartment to having multiple apartments to being where I am. It doesn't make sense.
Nah, it seems like self-improvement is cope.
It's very improbable. It's very improbable. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about probability. I give a fuck about possibility. We'll deal with probability later.
True that. I just want to mention this. Like, I've noticed this. Like, I think maybe Wavy, you might relate to this even more. I don't know about Disagreeable if he practices this, but I've noticed like when you on semen retention and you are on the knowing rather than the believing side of things, right? Like I've noticed this. This is why this is where I was coming from when I was saying this is what I dislike or I demise about like reality and society, right? Like every time I, commit adultery, debauchery, whatever, right? if I'm in public and shit, like nobody comes up to me, nobody speaks to me. I feel like I'm vibrating on a lower frequency. So I get it. Like nobody wants to be around me. Nobody. But like if I'm on some semen retention, I was working out 2 hours ago. I'm out. I'm just grabbing a snack or some shit, right? I'm in a queue or some shit. Some random motherfucker is always gonna come up to me, or some bitch is always gonna do some shit to distract
Facts.
me from what I'm thinking about. Like, maybe it might be something like straight from the chaos. Like, damn, um, I could actually do this, or I'm thinking about like, oh shit, yeah, I remember this. Alan once said this to me. Oh, I remember being in a village and spelunking in some fucking cave and shit like that. And then there's always gonna be like some vampiric energy trying to pull me from that shit. Like, yo, come back to reality. Yo, I like this shit, bro. Check out my ass. Yo, bro, how much money you making? Yo, bro, like
They pull you
that's
right
one
back
thing,
into the matrix when you're on
bro.
the you're on a different realm and shit.
Well, that's where
Exactly.
the question. That's where the question comes in. Which monk is the better monk? The one that's a monk in the hills in the jungle or whatever, or the one that's in the temple in the Bronx? Who's dealing with more? If I can achieve what you're achieving in nature here, who's lifting the heavier weight?
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
And before
true.
I forget, you said straight from the chaos. That's a good name for a podcast.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
bars.
yeah,
But
yeah,
real quick,
yeah.
KB, I know exactly what you're talking about because you brought me up in it. That's why I have to respond. But like, bro, when I'm retaining, putting my use channeling my sexual energy, and I'm like working out, I'm getting shit done. I'm creating the best art. I feel more energized. Motherfuckers just be coming up to me randomly, talking to me. I'm like, bro, like I don't even know you. Like, and I'm a friendly person. I'm not rude or like dismissive of talking to strangers, but it's just like when I'm in a relationship or I'm on the hub or whatever it is, or I'm messing around with somebody, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a fucking zombie. I mean, obviously I'm not a zombie, but like I feel like I'm just walking, go about my day. People don't even like, you know what I mean? The people are just like just seeing right through me. But then when I'm channeling my energy, like I said before, it's like all these like my magneticism just like is on double, and like just people start talking to me, random girls start talking to me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But let you tell us to one of these other people out here, they'll be like, oh, this is coke, bro. But it's like, bro, like I see this shit, I lived this shit, bro. Like, but then
Nah,
again, bro,
that's facts.
you know what I'm trying to say, bro? Like when you really, this is why, like, man, I started thinking about some of these spaces that I used to participate in, and I'm just like, man, I'm not like, how did I let these people bring me out of me, pull me away from the real player? Like I was on that shit. Like I was really like doing my thing, and then I let certain information and certain propaganda made by certain people who turns to find out they're not really who they say they are, pull me
Yo,
away from my inner player, and just kind of I can't believe I let
you,
myself
you
fall
can
into
have
such.
faith in you can have faith in no man, but you can find like who seem to be like minds. And put it this way, just like KB, I feel like KB might be a little more. I'll just use the word extreme as a placeholder, more extreme with it. But I dislike talking to motherfuckers. Period. The same, because it's nonsense, it's small talk, and when I tend to speak to people, I go all the way into the deep water. Either we are clowning and laughing and having fun, or we are all the way on the other side of the fucking universe. There is no in
Thank you.
between. There's no reason to talk in between there. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, like,
Yeah,
and these are some of the most valuable. This is how I know who my I wouldn't even call them friends, who my like kindred spirits in this world or whatever are. There are people who I don't have to talk to for like years, and whenever we speak again, it's like we never stop talking, and we're gonna in that conversation we're gonna come to epiphany. That's the only thing that I feel like the only thing that really matters. If when we speak, do we come to a deeper understanding and do we come to epiphany? Are we doing alchemy with each other? Am I putting my bullshit in the pot? You're talking your bullshit. It might not mean nothing, but after we mix this shit up and we keep putting our intention and our energy on this shit, boom, we went from shit to lead to gold. We come out with
facts,
new ideas, novelty. You know what I'm saying? From the chaos field.
facts. Yeah,
So that's what I'm, that's what I'm.
I hate small talk, man. I really cannot stand small talk. It's like, let's talk. We're gonna joke around, like you said, or we're gonna talk about something real. I hate walking away from a conversation. I'm just like, what the fuck? What was I like? I just wasted time. And I feel drained. You just drained me of my energy. Meanwhile, I'm trying to have like a real conversation and try to get some real shit, or just joke around and get some positive energy for both of us to walk away from feeling energized. But if I just walk away from talking to someone and it's just like, I'm just like, I feel dumb. I feel drained. I feel dumb. It's just like, dude, I wish I didn't even talk to you at all type shit.
Because you participated in the clown show. You know what I'm saying? Like you participated in the clown show. You spoke in the passive aggressive language of the masses. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. It's a waste of time. It's nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's one of the advantages of lucid dreaming. Cause like, when I go lucid, I make it the choice that okay, I want to have a conversation with this person to alert myself that okay, I'm lucid or some shit, right? Like, just the unfortunate part about this reality is that a motherfucker would just sense your energy and be like, okay, that guy looks like he has something figured out. Let me go question him about some shit and try to extract some shit from him, and that's the part that I hate about this reality, and that's why I give you props for that analogy. Look, man, that's the most self-healing, self-critique, self-reflecting, higher level negality, nigga shit you can ever do, to yourself, about yourself, for yourself, because it's all about enhancing and improvement, yeah.
Let me add to why like people approach you when you're vibrating at a higher level or whatever. Like, and it's like the same thing. Like you're not saying anything weird to me. Like I didn't know fat for maybe 2 years, almost 2 years or some shit. Like I didn't nut unless I had a girl. You know what I'm saying? So I know what it's like to be in that zone. And I went through long spells where I was like, fucking a bitch. It's crazy where your mind goes and the dreams go and all that shit go and where your energy is at. And like everything is totally different. But even if you're not doing that, even if you're just practicing lucid dreaming or you're just thinking differently, people are attracted to you not because they can necessarily feel the aura. They might not even be in tune like that. They can't feel the aura. They can't feel the power. They can't feel any of that shit. What they feel is your self-assurance. You know what I'm saying? They see that this guy's not in torment. You feel me? Or at least his torment is not like mine. His is different. He's made his shit interesting. You feel me? His shit's fun now. I'm just fucking suffering. So they want to get what's in your mind. They see that you don't just nervously speak. I analyze this shit. This is me when I'm like around my business partners and shit. I went on a business trip to Colombia and shit. We're with these fucking millionaires and shit sitting at this house, and everybody. That's why I'm gonna have to revamp the channel because shit's getting crazy with business, and I can't be known talking this crazy shit. But then again, if anybody on here don't like me, doxing me. You can't do shit. I own it. You can't do nothing. All right. But what I noticed sitting there with these like super like people from different world than I'm from, these super rich like, I mean high millionaires, not $1-2 million. You know what I'm saying? They all want to know what I'm thinking. They want to talk to me because I'm not speaking, because I'm not trying to qualify myself to you, or show you how. Now I don't, nigga. If you want me to qualify myself to you, put money on the table, put a big fucking check on the table. Maybe we can talk, and I'll give you free game a little bit, so you can see how much I'm worth, and you can give me the fucking money. We can talk more. Before that, I'm not qualifying myself to you. I'm not sitting here to tell you how I think, and it's not even an arrogant thing. It's just that I'm just comfortable sitting there observing and listening, and it makes people uncomfortable because they see that you're comfortable. Even when I'm uncomfortable, I'm just laughing I'll just laugh at motherfuckers. If something makes me like, if I don't agree with something, it doesn't make me angry. I just like, yo, this silly ass fucking humans. You feel me? In my mind, I'm just like, and that's what I'm getting at, KB. I don't have to hate. I don't even have to hate society. They're just silly to me. They're silly little things. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers who have so much power and so much clout in the business world that I'm in, I look at you and I'm like, oh, you're just a little thing to me. Oh, you made $300 million off of that deal? I don't really care. Unless you're gonna give me some millions. That shit does not impress me. That shit don't impress me at all because I can still see that didn't do nothing for you. You're still grinding. Nigga, you give me $300 million, you'll never see me again. I'm not here to impress you niggas and keep making, oh, I'm gonna make it to 1 billion. For what, nigga? For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? And they can feel this energy. They can feel this energy off of you, or they can see the self assurance that, oh, all this shit doesn't matter to you. All. It's so weird once you get in these business circles. People speaking to each other like, I did this and I scaled this up, and that all the conversation is around this weird shit. And then once I wish I should do a whole show breaking down these situations and some of these situations I've been with these people. But once you actually do speak, they just become more and more intrigued. Because I'm not going to give you a regular. If I do decide to speak, I'm not going to give you like a regular answer. Why? Because I've designed my life in such a way that I don't have to pander to you. So I'm going to take you all the way into my world when we speak, and I'm going to give you an answer that is not that something that you. Here's how the passive conversation goes. I say this, and I kind of know you're going to say this or give me a version of this because I've done this a million times. Do you understand? You guys understand what I'm getting at? I don't want to bore the panel, but
yeah. No, I get
I'm talking. I'm talking,
bro.
Yeah, I'm talking about how people interface with each other, and they realize that you found. Let me simplify this all. Let me simplify this all right now and bring it back to lucid dreaming and the selfish act. They realize, or they can kind of feel or sense, or there's something on you that you interface with yourself. And you are more important to you than this whole thing, than anything that's going on. And let me add a little Illuminati weird shit onto it too, because it is weird. Here's one thing I learned. Let me add this. Since we're on some magical shit, whatever. It's just a short digress. Every industry, when you get into real money, is into the weird dark shit. I'm gonna say it just like that. Every. You feel me? And if I really knew this, I wouldn't have stopped doing music and art and shit back in the days, because I was like, cause I'm not gonna kiss ass. And here's the beauty, but no, here's the difference right here. In the music and the art world and all that shit, you have to kiss ass. In the world that I'm in now, I create value. So I don't really have to kiss ass. For funding, I might have to kiss ass. For if you want to get some millions and shit out of some people, might have to pretend, not even kiss ass. Might have to be friendly and like show them around your shit and all that shit. But at least you can operate through your own value and you don't need people to carry you through. But I'm saying here's the difference. You can, if you're in the entertainment shit, you're going to have to do some weird shit. But what I'm saying is all these other worlds. You know what? I digress. Let me not go down this road. We're gonna do a whole nother show on this when I'm anonymous, and this shit is weird. We're gonna get down there. But I'm the somebody else take the mic, dog. I'm gonna stop right now, dog.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, all these. Listen, I'll say this. We know the people that run this matrix. I thought about this analogy, right? It's like when you work for a company, you work for a job or any type of situation like that, right? In order for you to work there and move up the ranks, you have to go along with the culture, the corporate culture, or in the rules of that job. Meaning, if I want to work for this company, I have to wear their uniform and I have to use their terminology and I have to go by the policy and the rules. So it's no different than in these high end, when you want to get into the inner circles of these industries where, let's say, if you want to be an entertainer or whatever it is, right? You can't work as an entertainer without adhering to Hollywood culture and Hollywood rules and policies, which is weird. So it's like, I can't say I want to work for Burger King, but I don't want to wear their uniform. I don't want to learn the terminology of the policies and the things around me. You have to do that if you have to adhere to the rules and culture of that company. So it's no different than the industry or whatever it is. So, but I know you want to get off that topic, but I can't stay for too long. But I will say this: this world is it's not even this world, but I would say the mind, the universe is inside of your mind. Your mind is inside of the universe. So you're no different. You just have to know how to use that power, because just like how the universe is infinite, and I'm not talking about the bullshit NASA CGI universe, but like the actual, I guess you say the ethereal realm is infinite. Your mind is infinite. What happens out there it can happen inside your head too, which then can manifest in this reality as well. So, with that knowledge and understanding that anything is possible, the next time a motherfucker either on the internet or in real life tells me that I can't do something or that something is impossible, I already know to shut the conversation right there. I'll pass the mic to KB.
Yeah, I'm also about to hop off in like a few minutes. Yeah, but disagreeable, bro. The link that I shared in the private chat, I would really like you to see that shit, because yeah, that's some really, I know you're gonna dig that. Anyway, my last thoughts would be, look, man, to anybody listening to this, you gotta realize that the mind is a very powerful tool, and I would overstate it to such a point to actually consider it as the actual superpower, you know, and it is a really distasting look, if I could put it like that, even considering your past lives or your future lives, to think that or consider that you would waste this opportunity, especially in the space and time that we're in, and the type of access to information and possibilities as a whole, to waste a mind on some, restricted, you know, um, yeah, restricted, limited, repetitive idea or way of life, So I really think people should not underestimate the mind. It is very important that you try by all means necessary to enhance it, especially on a spiritual level too. So yeah, yeah. With that, man, I mean, very, very. I can't. It's just that I can't describe what I'm trying to sort of articulate from my brain, but I hope you guys get what I'm trying to portray. That, look, man, just in essence, just do you in the most valuable way that is always coming back to you. Sort of like how you see a Taurus field is always going in and out. Think about approaching all the infinite possibilities like that. Like, yo, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say. Yeah, but
yeah, like yeah, I get what you're saying. You like you notice like you just what you said like it reinforces my nigga-isms theory. It all comes back to nigga-isms. You said just do you, right? You said just do you, right?
yeah.
That's nigga-ism.
Nigga,
And then you expounded on the nigga-ism to how that connects directly to physics. The torus field folding in within himself. Do we just do nigga? You nigga see nigga. Nigga-isms is all there is. It is what it is. Everything is everything. What it do? Just do
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah. But
all
we
there
get,
is.
but we are literally pulling, that esoteric knowledge and simplifying it and urbanizing it and making it sound cool, and we use it every day, but we don't really, not all of us know where it comes from, what it means, or why it is the way it is.
It seems like you're urbanizing it and making it cool, but no, the people in the so-called laboratories who are studying it us are overcomplicating it in order to analyze us. We don't need to analyze ourselves to do what we do naturally. You understand what I'm saying?
do
They what
you?
the way that they're explaining it does not make it better than what you're already doing. They're trying to explain what you are doing. Their explanation is not better than what you do. You understand what I'm saying? I don't gotta break it down all these weird scientific theories and all this shit. All I gotta say is it is what it is, nigga. Everything is everything. Do you? And the crazy part is, you can say that to me, and everything you said after that, I get without you saying it.
I feel you, bro. Just like that.
niggas. See, you feel me? You see, yo, if I figure out how to break this down and present nigga-isms, it might be the deepest scientific discovery of the last century. You feel me? Been studying nigga. Shit, man. KB's gone. KB had to get out of here. This is a good show. I feel like it. I wanted to round it out around 2 hours. What you on, Wavy? Wavy's gone. I guess we might just close the show down. You feel me? Yeah, is my internet messing up? Is my internet messing up? Wavy has exited the room. This is a lot of information came out in this show. You feel me? Anybody who passes through later and enjoys it, shout out to you if you make it this far into the show. I know this isn't the usual content of this channel, but we're gonna be doing more of this. We're definitely gonna be doing more of this. And I don't know if I'm lagging. I don't know if Wavy and them got kicked off, but this is disagreeable. This is disagreeable. I'm disagreeable. We're disagreeable. This has been disagreeable. And we're gonna get out of here, yo. Hit all the buttons and all that shit. 333 subscribers. You know, we hitting all types of significant numbers, and we're doing significant shows during significant times. But it is what it is. Shout out to everybody who came through. I'm disagreeable. We're disagreeable. I'm disagreeable. Be disagreeable. Peace.